Hey, what's going on, guys? In this video, we're up against Garen top. It is a ranked game, so I'm just doing another voiceover. I'm going to start doing this here and there. Let me know if you guys want to keep seeing this, because I like doing videos like this. It ends up being fairly informative, in my opinion. So, yeah, just let me know your feedback on these types of videos. So anyways, all right, let's go see who won the free coaching of today's video. So let's see. This is for the takeover jungle video. All you got to do is add me on Discord to whoever won, and congratulations. Camera's off just because I felt like, I don't know, voiceover, you don't really need to see me in game, but if you guys want to see it, even though I'm not really doing much, let me know. But yeah, okay, so anyways, the runes are your typical WARWICK runes. We're going PTA, Presence of Mind, Tenacity, Last Stand, and then we went Conditioning and Revitalize this game. Conditioning just because Garen's not too hard of a lane, so we might as well just take a scaling rune. We could have went Demolish, but it's just really preference. And as you see by the thumbnail, we're going to be going Stridebreaker. And guys, honestly, Stridebreaker is extremely good. Like, I've been building it on my main. I'm on like a 5-game winner right now. Stridebreaker jungle with the approach velocity. It's just such a strong item on WARWICK, man. Like I was saying in my other video, it just eliminates his weakness. So right here we see Sedge getting invaded. I know Shaco, he has Ignite, he doesn't have Flash, so it was a free kill. And at this point, like, I let Annie have that one. I could have taken it, but since Annie flashed and ignited, I just figured, hey, I'm just gonna let her have it. If it was me, I'd be upset if I only got an assist off of me using both of my summoners. So I'm taking the top scuttle just in case Shaco were to come back up here. And that gives my jungler the ability to just go bot side and grab that crab, or at least contest it. So the way you want to work versus Garen is, like, within reason, you want to be pressing your E, like, almost completely different than you want to use it against other champs, because he does true damage at the end of his combo, right? So you want to make sure that you use your E at the start of his combo. So whenever you see Garen, like, you know, usually every single Garen will Q and then E. That's just what's gonna happen, right? So right there, we got a pretty clean kill. But what I'm trying to say is, with Garen, I'll stick to the topic, is whenever Garen comes up in the air and slices down with his Q, that's when you want to press your E, because 90% of the time, see, there you go, boom, prime example. What just happened? As soon as he Q'd, he E'd me, right? So that's whenever you want to use your E to negate as much damage as possible. So, like I said, we're picking up Stridebreaker this game. I'm just cutting out a lot of the boring parts of the lane. So we picked up our axe, we went back to lane, farmed up a little bit, and then we picked up our whip. I think I get a kill here. Yeah, so I barrier his ult. It just completely absorbs the ult's damage. I don't think I needed to barrier, but just to be safe, I wanted to make sure. Because I knew I was going to be ulting him there, so I figured, I'm like, hey, just to guarantee that I'm going to live and get a kill here, I'm just going to ult. And right here, you'll see that I W'd. And the reason why I W'd is because I wanted to see if Shaco was topside. So you want to make sure that you're using your W for, like, times like this, where, like, you're hard pushing a tower. There's a big minion wave under their tower, so you're able to get a lot of plates. So then if you just W, if nobody gets hit by your W, then that means, you know, you're safe for about, let's just say 10 seconds. Like, you're safe for 10 seconds. And then after the 10 seconds, you could either leave or risk it and be a little bit greedy and stay. But I would recommend, if no one gets hit by your W, you have about a 10-ish second window, give or take. Maybe a little bit less. You could play a little bit safer and go on, like, you know, the safer side. But yeah, it's just because your W is a pretty big radius, so you actually are able to hit some, like, say you're topside, you can pretty much hit someone like around scuttle-ish, around there. So you'll see that we picked up Stridebreaker and Lucidity Boots. It's just extreme. I'm so ahead right now, so I'm just finishing off, like, you know, me being ahead with even more early scaling. The reason why we went with ability haste boots is because now we have 40 ability haste, and Stridebreaker gets lowered with ability haste. I missed my ult there, completely rattled. I knew this guy was gonna flash, so I had to Q him before. And look at that. Look at that. I whiffed my ult, but ended up making a pretty decent play in the end there. So yeah, we're just pushing in on this tower. We attack some minions to heal up, and then we're just simply waiting for whoever to come back to lane, because, like, we're still fine. Like, we're sitting on a decent amount. Like, we did just back. Like, we only have 1,200 gold, so Like, we could back and buy something, but the thing is like, I'm pretty big right now. There's a fight going on at Dragon, so I just decided to stay. And me deciding to stay, I got another kill. So I almost died to that turret there. I had to auto attack that one extra minion there, which was really clutch. But yeah, like, the next item we're going to be going is Titanic, and I explained in my other video, but the reason why we're going Titanic is because obviously it's extremely good on Warwick, but a massive reason is because if you have Stridebreaker, you do not gain the movement speed off of Stridebreaker passive, like the heroic gate, I think it's called, from just your Q or your ult, because it only procs off of your physical damage, and your Q and your ult don't do any physical damage, right? So you don't actually get the movement speed from Qing them or autoing or ulting them. So right here we get a pretty crazy survivability, you know, limit testing here. I'm extremely surprised I lived. I'm pinging the Annie because I don't know why she didn't just Q the Azir. But anyways, yeah. So I just go to farm bot. I go to farm bot and then I recall and pick up my Titanic. And like I said, that's a huge spike because now my Q and my ult both give me movement speed, which is really nice. 30 extra movement speed on hit, basically now on hit, because like I said, your Q and your ult apply the on hit of Titanic is really good. The whole point of this build is eliminating Warwick's weakness. I don't know if I would recommend going approach velocity top lane. You can. It's just it's much better in the jungle because you also have blue smite. It's, you know, like, that's just the whole point. Like, it's just really like you can go it. You can go approach velocity and, like, you know, boots if you want to, like magical footwear, or even biscuit. But I would just recommend sticking with the, you know, the usual Ingenious Hunter if you're going Divine Sunder, or if you're going Stridebreaker. Ingenious Hunter is still good, but like I said, I wouldn't really recommend going approach velocity top lane. You can, it's just, you know, it's just my opinion. Like, here we get a pretty nice fear on the MF. I knew she was going to die. I was trying to give the Sedge the kill, but he was trying to give me the kill. So here, so we just look to get the Garen, and then it's just a free kill. And then yeah, we just go to do. I think, yeah, I was gonna say, I think I get blue buff because it's just, you know, the jungler realizes that I'm pretty fed. So we look to back, we pick up our Phage and Ruby Crystal. This is going to go towards Sterak. Sterak is really good if you're ahead. If I wasn't as ahead, I would have went like a tankier item, like something like, you know, it depends. If they had more MR, I would have went Spear Visage. If they had more AD, I would have went either Thornmail or Randuin's, or Frozen Heart. It just really like depends. If they had like an AP duelist, like, not really, like, you know what I mean if I say AP duelist, like a Silas or like Mordekaiser who brings you in his ult if you don't land a Q. I would have went Wit's End, but like I said, since I'm huge right now, Sterak is really good because it still does offer you tankiness, but just no resistances. Like, resistances is a big thing in this game, especially for Warwick, because it stacks really well with your E, which is just incredible. So yeah, we're just looking to clear top farm here. As soon as we get our Steraks, it's just a massive spike. We end up getting a huge tank boost from that because the shield is absolutely massive. Because even though, like, we don't have a lot of HP, like Stridebreaker only gives you 200. Titanic does give you 500, which is nice, and Sterak gives you 400, I believe. 400, yeah. So I mean, like, that's a decent amount of bonus HP. It's 1100 bonus HP there, so it is nice. And the shield you get from Sterak is relative to your HP, so you end up getting a lot more out of the item the more HP you have. But it's good that your 2 core items with this build gives you health, right? Gives you a total of 700 health with your core items. So right here, I knew there were 3 in that bush, and you'll see what happens. Look at this. Look at this. They're all low HP. And then look at this. Like, I just saw, like, it took me a second, like, after I ulted, I'm like, wait, there's a 4th person, and it's who I ulted. It was the Shaco. I'm like, I thought I would have ulted the Azir. I was so rattled, and I was really hoping that the Titanic would have killed Azir, you know, with a little splash, but it's all right. We lost 3, and we got 2. It could have been way worse. If Shaco was in there, that was the easiest 1v3 triple I would have got, but that's okay. So we took red. Like I said, the jungler knows I am fed. That rhymed. So yeah. is an easy kill on MF. You just want to hold your Q while you're ulting, and then no matter what they do, unless they zone yas, that's the only thing. Unless they zone yas, there's no way that they'll avoid the damage. Say Fizz uses his E, Vlad uses his pool, whatever. I mean, other than the Sandra ult. I guess, I don't know, because does the Sandra ult have a small cast time? If it has a small cast time, I don't know. But, yeah. So, we're trying to like deal with the Shaco here. I'm like, you know what, man? It's just annoying to deal with the Shaco, but let's just see if we get him in this bush. We don't have our ult or anything like that, but we don't end up getting him because he goes mid. But watch what happens to this Varus. I'm annoyed because if I was in comms with this Varus, I could have been like, yo, look out, because I saw his blood trail. But I'm so look at this hook, this Thresh. He landed such a nice hook, or else that Shaco would have been dead because he didn't have his ult. Because he used his ult earlier, like, you know, 10 seconds before that, and he just used his Q on the Varus. So it would have been a dead Shaco if that guy didn't land his hook. But this Thresh has been, there you go. I was just about to say, this Thresh has been landing really good hooks this game. So I had to ult something there just to get out, and of course it was the clone. But it is what it is. As you see, my Sterak shield proc. I barrier, I forgot about my Sterak shield and I barrier, so it was a waste of a barrier, but it's not the worst thing in the world. So we get a triple here, which is nice. So it is a free dragon, and then I'm like, okay, the team can do Baron. Like, they end up going to do Baron. I'm like, okay, yeah, nice. I'll just stall the Thresh because Thresh, you know, I'll just stall his back because Thresh can do a lot in team fights. Thresh is landing, and then I'm like, oh right, they have a Garen. And if I had ult, I would have stayed, but I don't have ult, so I have to flash out. So a little bit of a misplay on my part. I honestly completely forgot about Garen. But if I didn't get ignited, I would have tried fighting that. But since I got ignited, it was almost guaranteed death because I'm almost positive Garen's still at ult. I didn't see him ult earlier, so yeah, we ended up getting the Baron, which was really nice. I got a pretty nice ult on here. Kill the MF right after the Thresh died. And then boom, we get Shaco. I was so satisfied with that kill. I'm like, bro, where are you going? Like, it's so satisfying killing Shacos, man. So satisfying killing Shacos because they're so slippery. They're so annoying to stay, like, you know, to stick onto. But luckily with, you know, Stridebreaker, it ends up getting pretty easy. Yeah, so I follow his Stridebreaker. I'm just tanking at first because my E, and then as Sedge starts tanking, I just go in and got the kill. So yeah, we're just pushing with the Baron minions top because since Sedge has demolished, I mean, it's not the worst thing, but what we should have done here, the Sedge should have used her demolish proc on this tower because we had such a massive minion wave. But it's okay. It's not the worst thing. Because if we used demolish on this tower, then it would have died so much quicker because Sedge has a lot of bonus health, but whatever, we got it anyway. It's just, it would have been a lot safer. Sedge lived there, so that was really good. So yeah, we backed and we finished Randuin's, as you see. The reason why we went Randuin's is just because it's the Shaco that's dealing tons of damage to us, and that's just gonna help out the damage mitigation versus him. I'm so annoyed, man. I literally pressed my Q. I have no idea how my Q didn't go on that Azir. Very annoying. So I just wanted to ult the MF just to execute the kill. Used Randuin's to slow down the Thresh. It's actually a really big slow. It's a big slow for a short duration, so it's pretty nice to get, like, you know, close the gap a little bit. It just goes, like I said, in like conjunction with Warwick's weakness, which is being kited. So yeah, so we W'd here because we saw them split pushing. So we needed to, like, at least answer, and so Garen back but died anyway. And then Shaco, I had to W because I figured, I'm like, okay, I'll run him down, or he's, you know, and like he's gonna group with the team from that way, or he's just gonna back. And if he backed in a certain area, the thing is I would have seen him. So either way, I would have stalled his back as long as possible. And that's exactly what happened. We stalled his back. Shaco wasn't able to do anything in that entire encounter. And we got Drag coming up real soon. We see Shaco. I'm pinging him. I'm like, yo, he's over here. He's over here. Look at this. Look what happens, man. I'm like, oh, I was so rattled. I'm like, I thought he was gonna keep going on the pink ward, and then right as I ulted, he turns off the pink ward. That's unfortunate. But yeah, and as you see now, like, we're just huge. The Sedge is extremely tanky. I'm extremely tanky. The Spectre's Cal was going into Spear Visage, obviously. I mean, that's the only item it builds into, which I think the item needs either a complete... I think Spear Visage needs a complete like redesign in terms of like the build path, or just completely remove Spectres and, you know, change the build path to Spear Visage, or completely change what Spectres does. I just feel like it's such a bad item. You don't get it. Like, it's such a terrible MR item. But yeah, guys, that is Stridebreaker Warwick top. Like, I was snowballing the game because I'm able to roam a lot faster because of the movement speed you get from Stridebreaker is really, really nice. Obviously, you don't get anything for just the item itself. You get the 3% mythic passive from each item you complete after it. But still, the extra 3% per item is really, really good. And yeah, you just want to leave the lane after turret plating's gone, or else the Garen would have got free turret plating. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and leave it a thumbs up down below. If you want to see more informative content from myself, I'll appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. Other than that, thank you for watching, guys. Peace out.